Okay, very good evening, my dear friends. Today's eminent resource person, P.MANJULA Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, RBVRR Women's College, Hyderabad Autonomous College. So, Madam is going to explain one of the eminent, one of the important and useful topic in plant ecology and biodiversity. So, Madam has explained yesterday one of the most important topic, that is population ecology. And day before yesterday, Madam has clearly explained about the community ecology. So in this regard, Madam is continue that class. I hope you clearly understood the entire topics regarding during these classes. If you have any doubt, post in the chat box or directly contact with our respected resource person. Okay, Madam, please share your screen and start the session.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay. Good evening, my dear students. So today's topic is production ecology, ecosystem.
Madam, if possible, please enlarge this PPT.
Okay, sir. Is it clear?
Yes, madam. It is clear. It is clear.
Okay, sir. Okay, so today's topic is productivity in ecosystem. So productivity means it is the rate of biomass produced. It is called as the productivity. So the rate of biomass in each trophic level, the amount of energy which is produced, it is called as the productivity, and the portion of the fixed energy of a trophic level passes on to the next trophic level, it is called as the production. So that is so generally the amount of energy which is produced, it is called as the productivity. So some of the amount of energy is which is utilized for their metabolic activity. So the remaining amount of energy which is passed to the next trophic level, so it is called as the production. So productivity means the rate of synthesis of energy rich organic matter by any trophic level per unit area in a unit time. It is described as the productivity. Okay, so this is the amount of energy which is synthesized by any trophic level per unit area and time. It is described as the productivity. So here the productivity is of different types: primary productivity, secondary productivity, and net community productivity. So first one is the so that is the productivity in an ecosystem. It is of two types, that is primary productivity and secondary productivity. So the generally the green plants which fix solar energy and accumulate in the form of chemical, it is in the organic forms as a chemical energy. So as this is the first and basic form of energy, so generally the producers which synthesize the food materials, so it is called as a primary productivity. So the energy which is synthesized by the producers, it is called as a primary productivity. So the green plants fix solar energy and accumulate it in the organic form as the chemical energy. So as this is the first and basic form of energy storage, so the rate at which the energy accumulates in the green plants are producers, it is known as the primary productivity. So productivity, it is a rate function, and it is generally the productivity which is expressed in terms of dry matter which is produced or energy captured per unit area of a land per unit time. So it is generally which is expressed in calories per centimeter square per year, or and that is the dry organic matter which is expressed in gram meter square per year. So hence the productivity of different ecosystems can be easily compared. So generally the productivity which can be expressed in calories, the amount of energy which are expressed in calories per centimeter square per year, or it may be in grams per meter square per year. So these are the units of productivity. So we can easily calculate the different ecosystems, the productivity of different ecosystems. So in the primary productivity it is again two types, that is grass primary productivity and net primary productivity. So grass primary productivity, first one is the grass primary productivity. So grass primary productivity means it is the total solar energy which is trapped in the food material by photosynthesis. It is referred as the grass primary productivity. So that is the amount that is during the photosynthesis. So the green plants which absorb solar energy and they synthesize the food material. So it is called as the grass primary productivity. So, however, so after synthesizing the food materials, what happens? So the green plants which utilize the this energy for their respiration. So some of the amount of energy is utilized by these green plants. So due to which, so some of the amount of energy which is energy is decreasing. So it is called as the net primary productivity. So here the grass. So the main difference between grass and net primary productivity is grass primary productivity means please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Radha Kishan. Please mute yourself. Radha Kishan, please mute yourself. Okay. So, however, a good fraction of grass primary productivity is utilized for respiration for the green plant. So, the amount of energy which is present, the bound organic matter created per unit area and unit time, it is called as the net primary productivity. So, grass means the total amount of energy which is synthesized by green plants, whereas the net primary productivity means after utilizing the sum of the amount for their respiration, so the remaining amount, it is called as the net primary productivity. So net primary productivity of energy means grass primary productivity minus energy lost in respiration. So it gives the net primary productivity of energy. So next one is the Rachana, mute yourself. Okay, so it is notable that the food of consumers has been produced by the primary producers and the secondary productivity, it depicts only the utilization of this food for the production of consumer biomass. So secondary productivity means it is the productivity of animals and saprobes in an ecosystem. It is called as the net secondary productivity. So primary productivity means that is the energy which is synthesized by green plants or producers. It is called as the primary productivity. So whereas the secondary productivity, it is the productivity of the animals, that is the energy synthesized by animals and saprobes in an ecosystem. It is called as the secondary productivity. So here the productivity of different kinds of ecosystems. So based on the productivity, so again here they are classified into different types. So high productive ecosystems. So the ecosystem which produce a high amount of energy. So they are called as a high productive ecosystems. And second one is the average productive ecosystems, and low productive ecosystems, and less productivity ecosystem. So first one is the high productive ecosystem. So high productive ecosystem, productivity ecosystem means here the amount of energy, that is productivity is, it produces high amount of energy. So atrophic forests, sugarcane fields, etc. gets intense sunlight. So generally this here the primary, that is productivity, that is production of energy which is in the presence of solar energy only. In the absence of energy, we cannot synthesize the food material, that is plants cannot synthesize the food materials. So generally these fields, that is in tropical forest and sugarcane field, they get intense sunlight. So in the presence of sunlight, so they synthesize the more amount of energy. So here the high productive ecosystems. So generally tropical forest, sugarcane fields, etc. get more intense sunlight and they produce a more high amount of energy. So they are called as the high productivity ecosystems. So coral reefs also. So generally they produce high amount of energy, whereas the second one is the average productive ecosystems. So generally agriculture crops, they produce the average productivity. So here the high productivity, it may be 2.4 kg per meter square year, or 6 to 20 grams per meter square per day. It produces a maximum, that is 2.4 kg per meter square per year. So generally productivity it is measured in kg per meter square per year. So here the generally high productive ecosystem they produce 2.4 kg per meter square per year amount of energy, whereas the average productive ecosystem they produce only 1 to 2 grams per meter square per year. So examples for average productivity ecosystems are here the agricultural crops and temperate forest. So they produce average productivity. Next one is the low productive ecosystems. Are low productive ecosystems, so they produce small quantity of energy, that is less than 200 grams per meter square per year. And whereas the less productive ecosystems they produce only 200 to 1000 grams of energy productivity. So examples for here average productive ecosystems are agricultural crops, and low productive ecosystem that is the grassland ecosystem, and less productivity ecosystem that is deep sea and desert. So they produce less quantity of energy. So examples are deep sea, deserts, etc. So generally this is also come in exam as the high productive examples for high productive ecosystem are in the match the following. So high productive ecosystems. So tropical forest, sugarcane fields, and average productive ecosystems here agricultural crops, and low productive ecosystems grassland, and less productivity ecosystem that is deep sea and desert. So here the productivity which is measured in kg per meter square per year. Okay. So these are the different, so the productive based on the production. So again, they are classified into, so the ecosystem which produce high quantities, they are called as a high productive ecosystem. That is, it approximately produces 2.4 kg per meter square per year. Whereas in average productive ecosystem, they produce only 1 to 2 kg per meter square per year. Whereas the less productive ecosystems, they produce 200 to 1000 grams. And low productive ecosystems, they produce only 200 gram per meter square per year. So next one is the here in the productivity, that is concepts in productivity, that is standing crop, materials removed, and production rate. So first one is the standing crop. So these are the other concepts. So standing crop means, so this is the abundance of organisms existing in the area at any time, and it may be expressed in terms of number of individuals, or as a biomass of organisms, or as the energy content, or in some other suitable terms. So generally it is called as the standing crop, that is the abundance of organisms existing in the area at any time, any one time. So it is called as the standing crop. So standing crop means, so the that is, so generally it is expressed in biomass, or as the number of individuals. So the amount of living matter in each of these trophic levels are in a component population. It is called as a standing crop. So it is existing in a area at any one time. So it is called as the standing crop, and it may be expressed in terms of number of individuals, or as a biomass, that is weight of the organisms, or as the energy content. So measurement of standing crop reveals the concentration of individuals in various populations of the ecosystem. So it gives the how the concentration of the individuals in various populations of the ecosystem, that is the density of the population. So next one is materials removed. So the second concept of productivity is the materials removed from the area per unit time. So it includes the yield to man, or organisms removed from the ecosystem by migration, and the materials withdrawn as the organic deposits. So that is the second concept of productivity is the material. So generally in an ecosystem, so after some time, so whereas in the croplands, so after the production of seeds or crops, so we can remove these plants. So it includes the yield to man. So yield to man, or organisms are removed from an ecosystem. So by or otherwise due to migration of the organisms to other areas. So due to which the productivity will be decreases, and the material withdrawn as an organic deposit. So due to which here the the productivity will be decreases. So next one is the production rate. So the third concept of productivity is the production rate. So at which the growth process are going forward within the area, and the amount of materials formed by each link in the food chain per unit of time per unit area or value is a production rate. So that is a production rate, means the amount of energy which is passed from one trophic level to another. Here the amount of material formed by each link in the food chain per unit of time per unit area. So it is called as a production rate. So here the growth, that is here the product, it is the production rate. So at which the growth process are going forward within the area. So it is called as the production rate. So these are the three concepts in productivity. So first one is standing crop. So standing crop means the abundance of organisms existing in the particular area at any one time. So it may be expressed in terms of number of individuals or organisms or the biomass of the organism. So second concept is that is the materials removed. So in a particular ecosystem, so after some time, after harvesting, so the crops are removed. So here the materials removed. So here removed as the crop yield to the manner, the organisms are removed from the ecosystem by migration. So due to migration, so here the number of individuals are decreasing and the materials are withdrawn as the organic, that is dead. That is after death and decay of organisms. So due to this, it is expressed as the organic deposits. So next one is the production rate, that is the production rate with the growth process are going forward within the area. That is the amount of material formed from each link in the food chain per unit of time at unit area, per unit area. It is called as the production rate. So next one is the factors which affecting the productivity in an ecosystem. So generally the main factor is that is the solar radiation and temperature. Second one is the moisture, that is the leaf, water potential, soil moisture, fluctuations of the precipitation and transpiration. And third one is the mineral nutrients, that is uptake of minerals from the soil, rhizosphere effects or fire effects, salinity, heavy metals and nitrogen metabolism. So first one is the first one is the solar radiation, that is as solar, if the solar radiation is there, then only here the synthesis of food materials will take place in the plant. So solar radiation and temperatures plays an important role for the production of an productivity of the ecosystem. So next one is the moisture, that is leaf, water potential, soil moisture and fluctuations of the due to these transpiration, changes in this precipitation or transpiration, and availability of the mineral nutrition. So these also plays important role for the increase the productivity in the ecosystem. So biotic activities, that is the grazing above the ground herbivores or below ground herbivores, predators and parasites. So due to which the primary productivity will be decreasing. So impact of human population, that is populations of different sorts, ionizing radiation such as atomic explosions. These are also mainly influence the decrease the productivity of an ecosystem. So these are the main factors which influence the productivity of ecosystem. So here first one is solar energy, second one is moisture content, next one is the mineral nutrients which are present available in the soil, and due to biotic activities like due to activities of the humans, also due to and animals also. So grazing above the ground herbivores, these herbivores. So as the herbivores, they utilize these eat the plants. So due to which, so here the productivity of these will be decreases. So predators and parasites and the diseases of the primary producers, that is the plants which are attacked by the diseases which are attacked by these plants. So due to which here the productivity will be decreasing, and also the due to human impact of human populations, this is also decreases the productivity of ecosystem. So in aquatic systems, that is productivity is generally limited by light. So which decreases with the increasing water depth. As the depth of the water in the water bodies is increasing, the that is light emitting to these water bodies will be decreases. So in deep oceans, nutrients often become limited for productivity, and nitrogen is most important nutrient limiting productivity in the marine ecosystem. And that is largeness of this primary productivity generally depends on the photosynthetic capacity of the producer. So generally the primary productivity which mainly depends on this photosynthetic capacity of the producers, because if the producers they cannot synthesize the food materials, the productivity will not increases. So here the mainly depends on the photosynthetic capacity of the producers and the existing environmental conditions such as the solar radiation, temperature, and soil moisture. So in tropical conditions, that is primary productivity may remain continuous throughout the year, and which provide adequate soil moisture remain available. So here, that's why here generally in the tropical ecosystems, so the productivity is high. While in temperate regions, the primary productivity is limited by cold climate and a short snow-free growing period during the year. So during only one season, only seasonally, the productivity is high. But whereas in tropical ecosystems, so the productivity is continuous throughout the year. So these are the some of the important ecosystems and the productivity in the hectares per year, tons per hectare per year here. So generally in tropical rainforest, the productivity is 20 tons per hectares per year, whereas in tropical deciduous forest, the productivity is 15 tons, and the temperate deciduous forest, that is 12. Temperate coniferous forest, the productivity is 8 tons per hectares per year, whereas in savannas, the productivity is 9. And in temperate grass, that is 5 tons per hectares per year, and in deserts, the productivity is very less, that is 0.7 tons per hectares per year. So when we observe this table, so generally the productivity is high in tropical rainforest, and the productivity is very less in desert shrubs forest. Desert shrubs. So only the productivity is 0.7 tons per hectares per year. So here the high productivity is seen in tropical rainforest, and medium, that is average 8, 9 in temperate and savannas, and less in temperate grassland. So these are the different ecosystem, major world ecosystems, and the productivity. So high productivity rate is seen in tropical rainforest. So next topic is, that is measurement of the primary productivity. So primary productivity means that is the rate of that is the amount of energy which is synthesized by the producers, primary producers. It is called as the productivity, primary productivity. So here the primary productivity which can be measured by two methods. That is, first one is the harvest method, and the second method is carbon dioxide assimilation method. So first one is the harvest method. So harvest method, so it is used for the measure the primary productivity. So this method is suitable for the terrestrial and shallow aquatic ecosystems. So the vegetation of the unit area, that is the plants which are present in unit area, which is taken out with its roots and dried in oven, and dry weight is noted. So in harvest method, we should remove the plants which are present in particular area. For example, in any ecosystem, so we are taking the plants and particular area with its roots, and they are dried in oven, and dry weight is measured. And the same process is repeated, and material is collected from the same vegetation of another unit area. So we want to calculate the productivity of different vegetations or different areas. So we take the same area. So same, that is, for example, 1 meter area like that. So we take the same measurements are taken. So in unit area, okay. So, and the same vegetation of the another unit area, and take the along with the roots, so remove the plants, and they are dried in the oven, and the weight, the net weight is noted. So measure the weight. So the change in dry weight, that is dry weight means biomass, which is denoted and denotes the productivity capacity of the community. So the difference in these two weights which gives the productivity capacity of the community. So it is expressed in terms of grams per meter square per day, or sometimes kg hectare per year. So generally they are the productivity which is expressed in gram per meter square per day. So this one is the first one is the harvest method. In a harvest method, we are taking, so the vegetation of particular area in a unit area is taken, and the plants along with their root systems are taken, and they are dried in oven, and the dry weight is noted. Same way here, the same process is repeated, and material is collected from the same vegetation of the another unit area, and the change in the biomass is noted. So it gives the productivity capacity of the community. So generally it is it is expressed in grams per meter square per day. So the drawback is that, so it does not taken into the consideration the biomass or the energy utilized by the plants in their own respiration and metabolism. So it gives only the net primary productivity only, not the gross primary productivity. So gross primary productivity means the total, the amount of energy which is synthesized by green plants. So after synthesizing the energy, so some of the amount of energy is utilized for their respiration. So we only taken the after respiration only. So it gives only the net primary productivity only. So next one is the carbon dioxide assimilation method. So next method is carbon dioxide assimilation method. So the amount of carbon dioxide fixed is a good indicator of productivity measurement. So here the small vegetation plots are taken for the study. So one plot is covered by plastic chamber having inlets and outlets for the exchange of gases or air, and another plot also covered with the same plastic chamber, but it is darkened with a black paper. In one case, the photosynthesis will takes place, and in another respiration is going on. In that is in the first plot, here the photosynthesis will takes place, whereas in the second plot, respiration, because it is covered with the black paper. So the change of the CO2 concentration is measured by passing the air through the known weight of the barium hydroxide. So the barium hydroxide is titrated against the 0.1 normal HCl. So the value of the CO2 concentration assimilation and CO2 released in both the chambers are summed up. The result is taken in the graph. So it is the second method, that is the carbon dioxide assimilation method. So that is the amount of energy. So generally in photosynthesis, the amount of energy is utilized, whereas in the respiration, so the amount of energy is released. So based on this, the change in the concentration which gives the so released in both chambers, so which gives the productivity of these two plots. So this is about the carbon dioxide assimilation method. So these two are used for to measure the productivity of the ecosystem. So here in this topic, so the main questions which may comes from this net primary. So what is, so net primary, what is the difference between net and gross primary productivity? So gross primary productivity means the amount of energy, the total, so that is the amount of energy which is synthesized by green plants. It is called as the gross primary productivity, whereas the net primary productivity means, so after synthesizing food material, so some of the amount of energy which is used by plants for their respiration. So after utilizing for their respiration, the remaining amount of energy which is present in these producers, so it is called as a net primary productivity. So here the net productivity means that gross primary productivity minus energy lost in respiration. So it gives the net. So here highest amount of energy which is present in gross productivity. So after utilizing utilizing this energy for respiration, the remaining amount it is called as a net primary productivity. So primary productivity and secondary productivity. So primary productivity means that is the amount of energy which is synthesized by green plants. So whereas the secondary productivity means the amount of energy the productivity of the energy which is produced by the animals and saprops in an ecosystem, it is called as a secondary productivity. So another important points to note down in this is generally high productive ecosystem. Examples for high productive ecosystems are tropical forest, sugarcane fields. So they get because they get the intense sunlight, so they produce more amount of energy. So it produces 2.4 kg per meter square per year. So more amount of energy which is synthesized by this tropical forest. So whereas the average productive ecosystem, examples for average productive ecosystems are agricultural crops, and low productive ecosystems examples are grassland ecosystem, and less productive ecosystems examples are deep sea and deserts. So next one is the factors which influence the productivity and ecosystem. Generally solar energy and temperature. So generally they helps in the production of increase the productivity in ecosystem, and moisture and leaf water potential, soil moisture. So these are also increase the productivity of an ecosystem, and mineral nutrients, that is uptake of minerals from the soil. So they and rhizosphere also they are affects the increase the productivity of ecosystem due to fire effects or salinity. So these generally heavy metals and so these generally decrease the productivity of ecosystem, and due to biotic activities also the productivity of ecosystem will decreases, and due to impact of human populations, and due to the different activities like ionizing radiations or such other atomic explosions, so the productivity will decreases. So generally in aquatic ecosystem, productivity is generally limited by the light. As in aquatic, that is as the water, the depth of the water bodies are increasing, and the light penetration will decrease. So due to which the productivity is less, and it is limited by the nitrogen. And generally the primary productivity generally which depends on the photosynthetic capacity of the producers, that is solar. So generally the productivity mainly depends on the solar radiation, temperature and soil moisture. Whereas in tropical condition the primary productivity is remain continuous throughout the year, that is productivity is continuous throughout the year due to adequate soil moisture and solar energy. So solar energy is available throughout the year, while in temperate regions only the productivity is limited by the cold climates and other short snow free growing periods. So only it is a seasonal, only sometimes the productivity is high and it will not continue like that. So here this is table. So in this the tropical rainforest which shows high productivity, that is 20 tons per hectare per year, whereas the low, that is low productivity which is seen in desert ecosystem. So these are the, so generally the productivity, primary productivity which is measured by two methods. First one is a harvest method, second one is a carbon dioxide assimilation method. So these are used to measure the productivity. So this is about today's topic. So I will stop here. In next class we will continue other points. So some topics are there, that is PR ratio, P by R ratio. So we will discuss in next class.
Okay, madam, thank you. Wonderful presentation, excellent topic. So my dear friends and delegates, if you have any doubt, please ask our respected resource person, Dr. P.MANJULA madam. If you have any doubts, my dear friends, Samira, Rachana, Nishita. Have you any doubt, my dear friends? No doubt?
No, no, sir.
Okay, okay, madam. Okay, madam, thank you very much. Right.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.